Do you realize that around 50% of all the US workforce is considered quiet quitting? First of all, it's a huge situation that basically hinders all the productivity that is available in the workforce and in your company. And it's probably what is forcing your company to stagnate and lose all the focus that you have. So one of the ways I do as a CEO, and I stop quiet quitting as soon as I see it, is I have 5 different tips that I do every single week with my employees and my colleagues in order to boost their productivity and prevent any of the even ideas of quiet quitting. So first of all, it's to do one-on-ones every single week. You might think that one-on-ones as a manager, as a CEO is super irrelevant and you don't have to do it because you have such different and very well thought out priorities. But let me tell you that if you're a CEO who is doing the job for someone else and you're putting the priority of doing the work yourself without actually letting your employees do the work and without you just helping them do the work correctly, you're basically a bad manager, a bad CEO that cannot even outsource your work and who doesn't delegate. So one-on-ones are super important because you're able to speak with the people there. You're able to actually talk with people and ask them about their feelings, what they're doing, what emphasizes their work, what energizes them and what doesn't. It's a great idea to let your employees and workers just let everything out. And I had multiple times where I didn't or I forgot to do one-on-ones, but the employees themselves, because they're used to it, kindly remind me, okay, Clem, I need to do a one-on-one because I have so many things to tell you. And that's one of the ways to let people and employees talk out all the problems before they even happen, before they solidate in their work. The second part is to always ask for bad feedback. I mean, sometimes the employees are just great, they're working, everything is fine, and you don't want to open a Pandora box of how bad and what is the bad things that they want to say about you. So one of the ways that I do it is just I say, okay, you have to give me bad feedback. If you don't, then we have a problem. That's one of the ways that you don't let them steer in their own bad feelings, because usually something bad happened during a week. If something didn't happen, then you have a slow company and you probably incorporate. And incorporate, of course, this doesn't make sense, and there probably can be a 50 or 60 or 70% of quiet quitters in the work. The third thing would be to actually give yourself bad feedback. You might think, okay, I'm a manager, I'm a CEO, I only have to have good things to say. I only have to let people work, do their job, and just energize them. Let me tell you something, if you keep on doing that forever, people will stop their work. They will not understand when you are unhappy. They will think, oh, okay, no problem. I didn't do my job well. It doesn't matter. My manager, my CEO will do the job for me and he's always happy. What's the reason for me to even work? So all the time that I do is I give the bad feedback always. And sometimes the person says, okay, sorry, I don't have a bad feedback. Okay, if you don't have bad feedback now, let's come back to that. Let me give you bad feedback now. And let me tell you, after you give bad feedback to a person who you manage, 100% of the time, other person retaliates with something and thinks about something. Because to be honest, people are nice if you employ them correctly and if you hire correctly, but they're just scared to give the feedback. But once you say bad things, they will also tell you bad things that you might not want to hear, but that can let you grow stronger, let the other person understand that they were hurt, and you can explain some maybe misunderstandings that happened. The fourth part is to always let the other person talk much more than you do. So for example, you're having a conversation with your employee and you gave them a task and you're waiting for their feedback. Don't stop them once they gave you one single detail. Wait until their report is finished, see how they did, see what is the big picture, how they're moving. Maybe they didn't do something correctly, but it doesn't matter because maybe they are working there slowly and you just have to say that, okay, everything's fine, just speed up. And sometimes, and most of the times, employees get really frustrated because they spend around an hour, maybe 2, 3, 4, maybe a week preparing for this presentation, for the report, and you just shut them down in a minute or in a second. And that's just bad. Never do that because you're basically undervaluing their work and you're paying them, or someone is paying them above you. Why are you keeping them if, for example, you're not even needed in them? And the fifth and last and most important thing is to hire slowly, fire fast. That's the most important that I think I learned in my past as a manager, as a CEO, is to always hire very slowly, methodically, even if the position is on fire, even if nothing works and you cannot do your job, you cannot hire the first person. You have to hire correctly, with precision, with understanding what exactly the person is supposed to do. And if you're not happy with the person, don't give them too many chances. Okay, of course, give them 1, maybe 2 chances to improve. Tell them, okay, I'm not happy with your work. I'm giving you a period of 2 weeks, maybe a month, that I'm just seeing how you work. And if I don't like how you do, just fire them. I mean, there are hundreds of possibilities of firing them. If the person is not doing the job correctly, and hopefully your legal or yourself hire them on the specific terms where you can fire them legally, then do that. Just tell them, okay, you're not doing your job, I'm not happy. If you keep on doing that, if I don't see improvements in 2 weeks or in a month, I'm sorry, we'll have to let you go. And the most important thing is to, when your employees are not doing the work correctly, don't think and don't put yourself on their position. You're not in their position. They're the ones who are supposed to do the work. If they're not doing it correctly, or you're not happy with it for some reason, it doesn't matter what the reason is, you have to fire them. Otherwise, you will have dead weight on your company and in your position. You probably cannot afford it. Good managers, good CEOs are keeping everything lean. And if you have dead weight, the lean thing just explodes and just keeps on putting more and more and more problems in your team. And the bonus thing, the sixth thing, is to understand that throwing more people at the problem is what causes quiet quitting. What causes people not to work and underperform is when you just have a problem and you don't solve it, you just hire more people. You just say, okay, we don't have this person, we just have to hire him and everything goes away. Probably not. In most of the cases, the company can do with 10 times less employees that they have. The reason is their processes, their work is just super bland, and that's the reason why they are not able to not have this team, not have this actual department. You know, sometimes people, for example, in Facebook, they used to have people who work on buttons. You know, it's just crazy. And in Snapchat, the same. They understood the problem, that they were having a bad process. They fired the squads which were doing that, and that's it. They got rid of that way. Never settle, always work. And I hope this video helped and you can try to see where exactly the things are going wrong in your company, in your team. Maybe you're thinking that someone else is underperforming. Trying to implement the first 4 steps and maybe try the 5th step and see how it goes. Let me know in the comments how this helped you, what it did for you, and hope to see you soon again. Thank you. Subscribe, like, and just keep in touch with me.